Hi everyone, this is Mindy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am sharing inspiration using the Make Yourself at Home card kit by Hero Arts that is sold exclusively online at joann.com. So first, before we get into the cards, I want to walk you through what is included in this kit. Starting with the panel that describes everything that comes in the kit, it also gives you a ton of examples and a how-to on the other side, how to make that card that is pictured there. So diving right into the cardstock included in the kit, you are getting 10 half sheets in this beautiful rainbow assortment of color. There is candy pink, cherry, pumpkin, yellow, kiwi, pesto, mist, Bermuda, passion flower, and plum cardstock. You then would also be getting a zigzag pattern bold print background stamp. So this is a red rubber stamp. And then you're getting this fantastic set. Now this is the Happy Thanks Stampin' Cut XL clear stamp set and dies. Very useful and a great go-to in your craft space. You have the neutrals enamel dots, a mini embossing ink cube, and then some sparkle clear lacquer pen. I'm going to be using the rainbow cardstock included in the kit. Off screen, I went ahead and did a bunch of die cutting. Now, I pulled the 5-point star infinity die out of my stash, and I die cut a star going through the layers out of each of those colors. I'm just going to add a little bit of tape runner behind each one and layer them on top of each other. Now, you can use any layering die that you have in your stash, whether it's circles, squares, rectangles, anything. I just thought a star would be a really nice change up. Now, as I was layering these on top of each other, I do have a small purple star. I decided not to use it because this does kind of add quite a bit of dimension afterwards to the front of the card. And my plan was to put the happy over the top. I really didn't care for how that was fitting on the front, so I decided to change up my card design here, and instead of going portrait, I went landscape. So I carefully lifted that up, and I'm attaching it in a landscape orientation. Now I'm going to take this word happy that is in that Stampin' Cut set. I die cut it from white cardstock and black cardstock, and I'm going to layer them together, just slightly offsetting it a little bit to create that shadow. So now before I finish off the card, I want to stamp this sentiment. So I have the birthday word there, and I just placed everything there as kind of a guide so I know where to line up the word birthday. And I'm going to stamp that down in the intensified black ink. Now my star pattern, when I moved it, it did remove some of the adhesive, so I had just added a little bit more to the back and attached it kind of over on that left-hand side. That also gave me room for the word birthday. And now I'm going to put some foam strips, some skinny foam pieces behind the last 3 letters, because that's really the part that's going to be overhanging the star. Because remember, I layered these up, so the star does have a bit of lift to it. And I'm trying to match that lift with these foam squares that I trimmed down. Then I added a bit of liquid glue to the first 3 letters and attached that so it was slightly overlapping the word star. So that finishes off the first card using the stamp and die set and the colors of cardstock in the kit. My second idea is to use negative pieces of cardstock. So I trimmed down 3 colors of cardstock to be about the same length and width of the word thanks that's included in that set. And I'm going to die cut this out. Now, I was really focusing on the negative pieces, but I'm also going to end up using the positive pieces on a second card. So I'm using my Hero Arts compact cutter because it fits this size of cardstock and die perfectly. And I'm going to die cut that all out. I'm also saving the little pieces that the die cuts out, like the in the middle of the A, there's that piece that will end up popping out. I'm going to save those as well. So once I die cut all of these out, I'm just going to separate them so I have my negative pieces and the positive pieces. Then I'm taking those negative pieces and I'm adding some more foam tape that I trimmed down to fit all the way around. I didn't go in between the letters. I just mainly went around the edge of each of these strips. Once those are all covered with the foam tape, I'm going to line it up on the front of an A2 size panel. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of white cardstock. I laid it out mainly focusing on that center piece. I really wanted to have that one centered, and then I could remove the backing of that foam tape and kind of work around it and just try and get this all as centered and evenly spaced out as I can. So now here are those kind of center pieces, or there's filler pieces of the word. I'm not popping those up. I'm just adding them right in their area with some liquid glue. So that was card design number 2. Now I still have those positive pieces and decided to use those too. So I went ahead and die cut the word thanks 3 times from white cardstock. I'm going to set those off on the side to layer up later on. For right now, I'm going to create a background for my sentiments. So I have this zigzag pattern bold print, which is a red rubber stamp. It's already foam mounted. So in my Misty tool, I removed that foam insert. I placed my background stamp in there and picked it up with the door of the Misty. And then I placed a piece of white cardstock over the top to help perfectly line that up and make sure it is straight. So once that is kind of stuck down to the back of my Misty or the bottom of my Misty, I'm going to ink this up with granite ink. Now, these do have quite a bit of solid lines. So I think I ended up stamping this pattern about 3 or 4 times to make sure I'm getting a really solid impression. Then I went ahead and trimmed it down. This is about 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I trimmed out another piece of white cardstock to that same size and layered behind that. Then I can add the adhesive to the back of this panel and add it to a white card front that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then back to my die cut words, I had die cut those 3 times from white cardstock, and I'm just adding 1 layer of white cardstock behind each of these colored pieces. That's just going to give it a little bit of lift and separation from the background. In all honesty, I probably would have done 1 or 2 more layers to just give that a little bit more separation, but it still works out. Mainly, I was concerned with that really light colored blue down at the bottom. So once again, I started kind of in the middle, lining these up to try and space those out evenly, and then attaching it with my liquid glue. Now, my one last finishing touch to this is going to be going over all of those die cut words with that sparkle clear lacquer pen that's included in the kit. And I found it best to do circular motions when trying to do complete coverage of each of those die cut words. You're going to be able to see that sparkle a lot better once it's dry in my pictures here in just a moment. But that finishes off 3 card ideas to get you started with the Make Yourself at Home card kit by Hero Arts, sold exclusively at Joann.com. So I hope you found this video inspirational and you enjoyed the card projects for today. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.